feel like just my play lately has been fluctuating a little bit more than the past few years. I kind of gave up expectations and just remembered how it felt like to come off the round and actually be in the lead. It's fun and it's a nice surprise.
Hello and welcome to round 2 of the 2024 Discraft Green Mountain Championship presented by Smuggler's Notch Resort and Barbasol. It is the first playoff event of the season, 4-round event. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're your two hot geese.
Honk.
Another perfect day. Couldn't ask for better conditions. Typically, it's windy at Fox Run, and that's one of the biggest talking points. You won't have to hear us complain about that. We'll find other things to complain about for you.
It was a really lovely day again. Vermont really showing out and showing up this week. Kristin Tattar, first one on our lead card, 84% fairway hits yesterday at Brewster Ridge, 67% of the time, finding circle 2 in regulation.
Own Scoggins, 74% fairway hits yesterday, 61% circle 2 in regulation, 78% C1X putting, a bit low for her.
Yeah, she struggled just a bit yesterday, but was able to rally. I know she was disappointed with how she played. Rebecca Cox, always great in the woods. But today we're going to see what she does out in a more open course. Fox Run does have some wooded holes as well. Rebecca with 68 fairway hits. That's going to be so important today because all these fairways are lined with out of bounds.
Henna Blomroos rounding out the card, the Finn, only hitting 47% of the fairways yesterday, meaning she scrambled her butt off. 44% C2 in regulation. Pretty good putting. Didn't read it.
91.
You saw it. Yeah. High.
Heck yeah, that's
great.
Really high. Let's start out with hole 1. It's 595 feet, pushed back a little further this year than we've seen in years past. New basket placement here, tucked in this little OB cove, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
It's made the hole significantly harder. It was always already one of the most difficult holes for FPO. This just adds some more.
Let's welcome into the box from Pärnu, Estonia. 2-time world champion, one of which won right here last year. Let's give it up for Kristin Tattar.
Yeah, Kristin in the lead, obviously very comfortable, winning Worlds here last year, winning GMC the year prior. Just honestly the most well-rounded FPO player we have. That's why she's just so dominant.
Yeah, these courses really force you to have every single skill. You got to play woods, you got to play open, you got to play wind.
She has it all.
Joining us next from Los Angeles, California. Let's make some noise for Own Scoggins.
Own a master at taking her very specific type of game and adapting it to every sort of fairway.
Crazy to watch. I mean, the fact that she won, was it D-Glow last year? That was the first time where I was like, oh, she can do anything. It doesn't matter the course or whether it suits her game. She will make it suit her game. And a good first shot.
In the box from Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's put our hands together for Rebecca Cox.
Love to see Rebecca Cox on the lead card again.
Love the florals.
Yeah, Brewster Ridge, very similar to one of her home tracks at Idlewild. Outfit game definitely killing it.
Yeah, she really is. Such a smooth shot, too.
And biting off a lot off the tee here. That's a big shot.
And from Rauma, Finland. Let's make some noise for Henna Blomroos.
Yeah, I think this change, it doesn't quite make it worth it to go huge off the tee because it requires such a big sidearm. I don't even know. It'd be so difficult to get a backhand all the way to this new pin placement.
Yeah, it's low ceiling.
So I think a lot of what I saw today was kind of ladies not pushing the OB as much as they normally would, attacking for birdie and just kind of chilling. That's a great shot.
Yeah, Henna biting off more than I see most competitors doing, though. Most FPO players are talking about just playing this one for par. This whole one is like the talk of the town. It's one of the few changes on the course, so everyone's buzzing about it.
Yep.
And you just don't see many players going for it. Naturally, Own's going to be putting.
Yeah, and she would have parked the old pin.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca, really strong sidearm game recently. You can tell she's been working on it. A little bit of a slip there, but still a pretty clean release. And yeah, even out throws Own. Isn't that? Have you seen her throw forehands lately?
Yeah. She's got a lot of power.
Uh-huh.
We know Kristin is got a reliable sidearm.
Uh-oh. Very early. And unclear, but the ground is very, very wet. So there's some slipping that's happening out there.
Yeah, it was a very humid day. A lot of dew on the ground.
And it makes sense that Henna would go big off the tee to then open up this backhand shot. She still doesn't quite get enough turn, but it turns out fine.
I watched a couple cards tee off an MPO, and they're not even trying to bite that much off on this tee shot. It's just a generally scary shot. This hole is really tough to keep both shots in bounds. And then adding the OB so close to this new pin placement, it's
You mean behind it?
Yeah,
or just
so close.
The sides as well?
Sides and behind.
All of it.
Yeah, having it back in the little cove, the corners all of a sudden are both in play. You're trying to go big.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Talk of the town. What's the hot goss?
Yeah,
Your
hot
geese
goss.
got it for you.
Yeah, geese goss. Wow, Own. So Own just is going to birdie the hardest hole of the day statistically.
Let's get a slow-mez of it.
Wow.
Owen doesn't even know what statistics are. She's here to break them.
Yeah, that's so true. It's, let's see, 29% of the field with a double bogey or worse.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
It averaged 4.9?
Yeah, almost
Ouch.
a full stroke over par. It always is one of the hardest. Oh, Rebecca's so close to her own birdie.
Yeah, lead carding for sure. But, I mean, Kristin did have trouble. And, I mean, it was an errant shot, but it happens pretty quickly out here.
Yeah, a quarter with a bogey, almost 30% with a double bogey or worse. There was one birdie today. We got to watch it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nuts. And Owen with that two-stroke swing, going to tie it up at the top.
Yep. Let's see. No one got to circle one in regulation. 6 people got to circle 2. Owen was one of those and the only one that made her putt.
Yeah. Just a bit. I think they just should have left it for us and moved it for MPO.
I agree. I think we're going to see people play this hole differently too.
Mm-hmm.
I saw everyone kind of attack today, just testing the waters.
Mm-hmm. Dipping a toe in.
Mm-hmm. And that toe resulted in a double bogey usually.
Ouch. Hole 2, one of the shortest holes out here. It's a par 3, only 250 feet, but a nice dead straight tunnel shot. You can throw putter. You occasionally see mid. Mostly you see backhands, but I suppose you could throw forehand if you're comfortable. It's a bit riskier though because it's a left to right sloping hillside to an elevated pin with OB deep and right of it. Congrats to the winner of the Patreon giveaway, Philip DeKnight. You get 2 shirts. One of them is signed by Big Germ and the Robinson brothers, and the other one theoretically will fit your body, so you enjoy that, brother. Owen blasting past the basket. She's gonna have a significant comebacker to save her par, though that kind of thing never seems to bother her, does it?
It sure doesn't. So even on elevated pins, she just looks real natural. Also, during warm-ups, fun fact, during warm-ups, whenever Owen is coming out there to hit the practice green before the rounds, she almost exclusively practices on the elevated basket. Have you noticed that?
No.
Yeah, she does do.
You're right. I have very vivid memories rushing at me now.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone else will be like kind of, fighting over the 1 or 2 or 3 short baskets or whatever, regular size baskets. And Owen's just like, yeah, I'll just do this tall one by myself, and just hits a million of them.
Interesting.
I know. And she looks very comfortable on them. Kristin, early releasing, kicking right. There is an out of bounds line on the right side, but it starts a little further down the fairway. So thankfully she is still in bounds.
Looks like she's got a justice in hand. Nice overstable mid-range, playing the skip and controlling the damage. Still a tester putt just inside the circle for her par. Bit of a slow start for Kristin. Henna with a great drive. Let's see what she threw.
Right on line, just a little bit short. That's a pretty typical putt here. You see a lot of 30-foot putts.
Yep. Star Invader from Henna. Own. Dialed.
Yep.
Maybe because of that warm-up you're talking about.
Yeah. How close is that OB line behind the basket?
I think it's like circle's edge-ish.
Kristin with a pretty obstructed look here.
Yeah, it's right in her way.
Kristin also matching the leaves out here.
I'm glad you said. I'm glad someone said it. Rebecca a little bit nervy on the putting green. And surprising bogey start from our defending champ here.
Even though this hole's only 250 feet, there were only 8 birdies on the day today. It's such a narrow gap. It's one of those holes where it's right there in front of you, but it's also a very particular shot and angle.
There's also the added pressure of everyone knows they can get it. So then you're, thinking about how everyone knows you can get it.
Yep.
Whatever. Ooh, what a pretty turnover. I was surprised we're ahead on hole 4 here, and the trees there on the right have grown significantly. It's a much harder shot than it has been in years prior. Silva doing a really good job from next to the bush that everybody lands and getting inside the circle.
Silva, one of the greats on the putting green.
Also matching some of the fall colors behind her.
Yeah, I love everyone's fall-themed outfits.
Henna with a Finland outfit. It's just gray.
Yeah.
Winter. Own in the solo lead. Silva, 1 down through 4. That's enough to move you up. That's interesting.
Hole 3, 300-foot par 3. Well, another one that looks really easy on paper, but you get out here and try to throw it, and it feels like it just stretches onto infinity. I feel like with the uphill nature of the beginning half of this hole, it feels like you need more like 310 or 320 feet of distance.
330.
Yeah, but it's weird because you do kind of want to keep it a little bit lower. You don't want to blast by this basket. That OB comes up pretty quickly behind. All the trees are in the perfect way, too, where you're thinking about, oh, I could hit one of these trees and kick right very easily. So
good.
A hyzer finish is nice, but it leaves you with a little bit of a scary putt towards that out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. Own has been throwing that pink racer for a few months now, and she really has a lot of control, and it pushes so nice and straight for her. She's going to be putting. Rebecca Cox with her Lucid Evader. She's so good with that disc. It's a little bit hyzered, but it's also inside the circle.
Yeah, and she's almost pin high, so she'll have a little bit of a flatter look at the putt.
This is early and in danger. It's tough to scramble from that left side early. But at least she didn't miss the Mando.
A lot of places on the left side, early, middle, late. They're all pretty
basically
brutal.
Just left. Yeah. Kristin making the initial gap just a touch low, but some good ground play. One little gap Henna is aiming for, a master of the standstill. Actually, she goes hyzer. I thought she was going to go straight.
Oh, and bumping over all the roots.
Mm-hmm. Great shot. Ooh, great flag waving.
Yeah, this spotter was bringing the energy today.
Kristin not messing around with that hillside Madison was talking about. It is dangerous. That OB's right there. She's a machine.
Yeah, what a technical little putt there.
Own missed a few putts yesterday, but she is on one right now. Rebecca in for her first birdie of the round after having putts for birdie on holes 1 and 2.
Two of only 5 birdies today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a tough hole.
It is a tough hole.
I'm trying to remember. I think Haley King still has the course record out here at 9 down. That was right. White Pants Haley.
Yep.
But that was, I think, when the course was, there was that one harder par 4 that they shortened into a par 3.
It was different enough that this would be a new.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure in this kind of a layout what the number is. I think last year at Worlds we saw some 7 downs. I think was the best at this course.
You you want a fantastic Vermont adventure that's close to home? Smuggler's Notch RV Village is the perfect getaway, surrounded by outdoor opportunities and beautiful views in the heart of Vermont. Make unforgettable summer memories. Smuggler's Notch RV Village is pet and family friendly. Get the most out of your RV this summer at Smuggler's Notch RV Village. Book your stay at Smuggler's Notch RV Village, Vermont's newest RV campground. Visit smugglersnotchrvvillage.com or call us today.
Hole 4 is a par 4, 475 feet. Here are these bad boys I was talking about. They are tall. Look at how high this drone is going. Backhand turnover is very typical. Also, kind of spiking hyzer forehand works. As long as you're not all up in that bush there, it's a pretty simple approach shot across the next OB area to this beautiful rocky fairy green. There is OB all around it, but this one is short enough at 475 where you really want to birdie. It's one of the easier par 4s to birdie out here if you stay in bounds. I think forehand now is the better play. I used to think backhand, but what do you think?
I don't know. Everyone on my card threw a backhand today, but these bushes are so big and I haven't got to see enough people play this hole that I'm not 100% sure. That having to throw so nose up makes it really easy to turn your disc and go out of bounds
Exactly.
right. Yeah.
Or just like stall out and come back out of bounds left.
Yeah, you have to like overcommit or you end up accidentally undercommitting. I haven't even tried the forehand. I feel like it takes a lot of power.
And it's a very spiky angle. Not everyone has that. But yeah, this is I think is the more common mistake that I've seen. Obviously, we've only played this one round, but
even in Own, who has a monster distance with her forehand, like she's over 375, right? She can throw far forehand. She's even coming up short of this bush that Kristin's in.
That's why I think that the forehand didn't used to be the play, because that bush, it brings the bush into play.
But now it's way
But now
safer.
you need to get over the bushes like first and foremost to start.
Yep, and keep it in bounds.
I did go back and check at Worlds last year, where the course was significantly different. 7 down was the best, and several women shot it. There's like a big tie for who has the course record out here.
Where the course wasn't significantly different.
Yeah, from Haley's 9 down.
Yes. Yeah.
Great shot from Own.
Yeah, only changes would be hole 1's pin, these giant bushes, and a little bit of a smaller landing zone on the par 5, which we'll get to.
Yeah, I feel like
maybe it's playing a stroke harder here.
Hole 1 is the only huge difference, and then 7 they really tightened the OB, but I don't think it'll affect the big throwers.
Yeah, I think the course is probably playing
one stroke.
Stroke maybe 2 harder, but probably a stroke. My guess is we'll see. I think we could see an 8 or maybe a 9 down.
Yeah, that would be an absolutely phenomenal round. It's definitely possible.
Here's some second shots up to this green. Everyone putting for birdie except for Henna trying to recover her par.
Kristin was in that bush, and that was her 3rd, so she's also for par.
Oh, I missed it.
We were gabbing. Sorry, everybody. You were watching. Own coming up. Pretty good putt, just a little bit right. Gonna be a par. And doing some good work to save that par. No birdies yet for the Finn. Rebecca has been putting for birdie on every hole so far. Pretty cool.
Yeah, she is throwing the disc really well. And her misses on the green have not been by much. So I think this little stretch that we're about to be on, 4, 5, 6, and 7, is kind of like a speed bump in the middle of the round. Like they're hard holes, and you just want to get through those cleanly. And then the rest of the course is still difficult, but it's this little middle speed bump and a final speed bump at the end.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially 5 and 7. 6 is like not so bad, but very easy to find OB. Silva doing a great job to both stay in bounds and make a big putt look short for birdie.
Yeah, and slightly elevated basket.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
The shot or Rebecca?
Rebecca, obviously.
Okay, just Rebecca.
Duh.
Who is tied for the hot round with Own.
Yeah, she is. Here's hole 5. It's 455 feet. It's one of the few holes that I don't really agree with on this course, but it's nice to also have a challenging par 3 in the design. Ideally, you're going the way the drone flies, but this gap is so small being so far away from the tee pad. I would say it's about 300-ish feet from the tee.
Yes.
It's downhill too, and a lot of times there's head or crosswinds here, so it's really difficult to commit to your angle here, especially if you go out of bounds on the right side early. It's almost impossible to recover the par. It can be done, but it's a challenging shot. You can see Rebecca pushing that OB. Ideally, you want to get through this gap, but a lot of players getting tangled up in that line of trees.
That's my favorite play, to throw straight at those trees on the right and play the hyzer like Rebecca did, but it's risky,
yeah.
especially when it's windy.
Yes. Today, thankfully, we had really nice calm conditions. If anything, there was a tiny bit of a right to left crosswind kind of helping this shot. Owen showing us a great hyzer angle, getting past that line of trees. Being in the flat is great. You can't really count your hole as over, though, if you get past those trees. This green is tough. I feel like I see more rollaways here than anywhere. There's something about the angle.
There really is. Henna a little tight here. As long as she squeaks to the other side, not too much work left.
Yeah, I think she did. It can be brutal in that line of trees where you can not even swing your arm.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone looking like they've got this shot pretty dialed.
So good. Oh my.
Wow.
What power.
Kristin really flexing on us right now.
No kidding. That is unbelievable. A lot of... wait, did you look up the MPO? A lot of the MPO are not getting this one. That's amazing. And here's the rollaway that Mad was talking about. You just see that a lot, and that sure is the feeling.
Okay, this plays as the second most difficult hole in the MPO field, and it's the same hole as us.
Wow. So the fact that Kristin got inside the circle she threw in orbit rive, by the way, unreal.
Yeah, a quarter of the field birdieing this hole, but a lot of bogeys.
That's an
MPO.
A cool statistic.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Rebecca just laying up outside the bullseye to about 15 feet. It is marshy down there. Her shoes are soaked.
It sure is. Owen with a tough comeback putt here.
And same as the last one, just a little bit low right. Not a bad putt, but not quite centered.
Only 7 people got to circle 2 in regulation.
I assume Kristin's the only one to get to circle 1.
Oh, apparently 2 people did.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Evelina was the other one.
Okay, she would.
Yep. But Kristin was...
Current and defending world champs are the ones to get in the circle.
Yeah, the only one that parked the hole and the only birdie. Cool.
Wow.
What a flex. It just takes the most demanding shots to get her focused.
I guess so. However you got to do it.
Oh, that's such a cool hole to park. Ah, I can dream.
Mine went through the center over the bridge. It was like a really bad shot that bounced through it.
Yeah.
I was thrilled. Rebecca Cox, 2 down in that tie for first. Still. Hole 6, we saw Silva just play this. Backhand turnover works, sidearm also works, but the flex doesn't work quite as well as just kind of the straight pushing hyzer. 265 plays more like, I don't know, almost 300?
Maybe.
300?
Yeah,
Ish?
I think that's right. 300, 310.
Yeah, definitely some tight OB. I think probably the left side late OB is the most common error, but you do occasionally see people not clear the hill on the right and be OB short. This looks really good from Kristin.
Yeah, the power sidearm is definitely the safest play here if you've got it, but it's kind of a crush.
It is.
With the uphill.
Rebecca choosing to go backhand with a flippy disc. This is a fusion evidence. That's looking solid. Yep. Looks like she's just in a circle's edge anyway.
Yeah, most of this fairway is blind. It's very weird. You're just throwing straight out of bounds and hoping that disc works the way you want it to.
Oh, that looks amazing. Henna going rock 3. Kind of a low-key ace run. This one surprised me how much the right side has grown in right up front. It makes it feel tighter even though it's not.
It sure does.
Owen with the flex, making it work.
Yep.
That's really good.
Very impressive. The flex is, like Erika was saying, the flex is really tough to make work on this hole. You kind of would rather a pure hyzer forehand.
Rebecca, just a bit left.
Again, putting for birdie.
Yep.
She's always there.
She's always there. Except the last hole, but that doesn't count. It's an MPO hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Henna on the board with a really solid birdie. Her putt is looking really good.
Yep, she's made all the ones she's supposed to today.
Owen bouncing back from that bogey.
Kristin stringing a couple together, getting back to even par.
Rebecca gonna have to take the lone par. Cool to see the lead cards so close and some of these lead changes, to see Silva ahead on hole 8 in the mix. This is the scene of Allie Smith's ace last year. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's my favorite ace video to go rewatch.
It is so great running up this huge hill.
Then not really knowing where to go afterwards.
Yeah.
The best. Oh, Missy Gannon making an appearance here.
A nice clean bogey free round, 2 under par so far.
Wow. Beautiful turnover from Missy. Silva's was good, but Missy's was great.
Okay, Silva.
The fact that she doesn't, it looks like it takes no effort when like most people are stepping or jumping. Impressive.
Yeah, great circle 2 make. Nice birdie from Missy as well. And being a couple under par is enough to move up the leaderboard right now. Most people aren't quite stringing the birdies together. Missy, that brings Missy to 3 under par. And Silva to a tie for the lead. Hole 7, the par 5. Here is where the landing zone gets pretty pinched. Look at this little finger of OB all the way stretching into the corner. It used to be a lot closer to that right-hand side rock wall where the tree line is, but they pinched it off just to make it harder.
I think it's because the farmer next door doesn't like us.
Yeah, we do. We have a farmer that doesn't like discs on his property. Weird. But the little bubble of OB in the middle is a great place to land your second shot. It keeps your third shot right around the 320-foot mark. Very doable to get across. It's a narrow green, but good to error long.
I think that the tightening of the OB isn't really going to affect the top cards. It's just going to make it very difficult for the middle of the field to birdie or par, which is really fun.
They kind of, instead of just looking at it as they tightened the right side, they
took away the majority of the landing zone.
Well, yeah, but they opened up the left a lot more.
That's true.
So you can hyzer more to the left side. This used to be all out of bounds.
That's true.
So they kind of just moved the whole fairway over.
Yeah, it's just more of a power hyzer. I guess, yeah, it's just different. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
You almost have to hyzer up this gap, or the between the two trees.
Ooh, sit down. Own with a good sidearm, but it's
on the line.
Rolls into the drama here as we watch.
What?
And
Man.
It's surprising because that would have been in by like 20 feet last year.
Yep.
Do you go left side or right side?
I go left side. Everyone on my card went left side today too. Rebecca has enough power to do this, but I mean, it just takes an obscene amount of power, and you have to put it so high.
You do. I do this play, but I was in bounds by 3 feet at the very point of the triangle, because that's who I am, and it's hard.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have gotten really good at the flex shot, and if you've got that and you throw it over the top of that left tree, you can actually get some good distance down the fairway.
Something I should have practiced. Noted. Own with a really good recovery shot, but it'll be interesting to see if she chooses to go across from there.
Yeah, she's not quite as far into that bubble as you want to be.
Yeah, probably another 40 feet to feel comfortable going across. Kind of like this.
Yep.
That's more than 40. That's great. That's so good. That's pretty dang
unbelievable.
perfect.
Yep.
Can I clap?
Yeah, we can. Golf claps in the booth.
Very good. To get that close to the OB takes some courage. This is in a lot of danger.
Did it check up?
Oh my gosh, it did. Okay, it was never in danger?
I thought it was in danger as well.
Okay. Maybe
The stakes are, I think it's an optical illusion with all the stakes.
Stakes are high. Sorry. I'm embarrassed that I made a mistake. Kristin, everyone just perfect out here. Everyone flawless and very fun to watch. Own actually closer than I thought.
Yeah. She's got probably 340 to the basket here. It's downhill, so it is within reach for sure.
But difficult.
Yeah.
She squeaks in. Well done. And look how close all that OB is.
Yeah, it's such a narrow landing zone front to back.
There are not that many women who can recover an OB par on this one.
Mm-mm.
Kristin with a really great third shot. Yeah, this is an interesting hole because if you don't get as far as these ladies, you see a lot of layups of 150 feet or less to this, and then you're throwing this same exact shot on your fourth. So it's pretty cool that everyone is doing such a good job to get up to the perfect landing zone.
This played as a tie for the third most difficult hole of the day. While 33% of the field birdied it, there was a lot of bogeys as well, and you can see how they can stack up. Look at all this out of bounds. There's stakes everywhere.
Yep. And if you didn't watch yesterday, oh, great shot from Rebecca. This is our first playoff event. There are 41 women in the field, the 41 best disc golfers that we have out there right now. So I feel like the stats say a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. About how difficult these holes continue to be.
Mm-hmm.
Henna giving it a good run, but not quite able to get the birdie. Own saving par.
Amazing. Kristin for a birdie, a turkey, and to get under par for the round. And she does all three in one stroke. She's amazing.
And another birdie for Rebecca. 3 down on the round. Bogey free.
But playing better than everyone on the card, I think it feels like she is more under par than she currently is.
It sure does. Another check-in with Silva.
Going backhand on a hole that a lot of ladies throw forehand if they have it. This is
Look at this.
Beautiful. Stop. That looks like a very slow speed disc too. Wow.
Man, the flight of that was so perfect.
Missy, not one to be outdone.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit wider, a little more drift.
So
even better.
Coming to this tournament, if your backhand turnover isn't feeling good, you're going to have some trouble.
Yeah.
And
or your forehand, one or the other.
Your distance forehand. Like
Distance
you've got to be
forehand,
able to cover some ground with the right finishing shot to do well at Fox Run and Brewster.
And Brewster, both of them.
Yeah.
Got to have all the shots.
Yep. Missy and Silva showing us how it's done.
Pretty cool to see back-to-back backhand birdies. Kristin, with that turkey, going to overtake Own. Silva 5 down through 10. Again, the best score we saw out here last year was 7, so she is absolutely shredding. Hole 8, we saw Silva and Missy play this one, par 3, 310 feet. It's blind, and it's a very significant turnover shot. It's easy to put too much angle and get this thing to cut roll. It's an interesting and challenging shot. It keeps you very honest. If you hyzer out, that left side OB can come into play. You don't see the right side come into play as often. You really have to yank over on it to find it.
Yeah, you may see some accidental throwers here, but there is enough space where you're not quite worried about it going OB from that mistake. It's just accidentally throwing it too far and too flat.
Yep.
Kristin did not do either of those. She is inside the circle, right around the edge of the bullseye.
And that's that gold line St. Pro. That was her most valuable disc, MVD, if you will, yesterday at Brewster. Oh, this looks good. A Grand Brave from Rebecca. I'm not as familiar with that disc, but they look pretty good.
Henna really good at this type of shot. Turning it a
Almost
little
too
early.
much turn?
Yeah. Ooh. Looks
And,
like she got
she bounced back in?
Yeah, she got a little help from the advertisement wall.
Yeah, thanks Power Grip. Is it Power Grip USA? Thanks, guys.
Doing their part.
Mm-hmm.
Owen with a pretty panning shot here. Getting to the putting green, but not quite inside the circle.
Doesn't seem to matter when it comes to Owen.
For real.
Bet you $1 she makes it.
I'll take that.
Okay. Dang it. I always lose bets.
I can't believe I won that. I was like, this is dumb. I just lost $1.
Literally always lose bets. Never won one on coverage. I'm going to go back, rewatch, and figure out how much money I owe you because I've never paid you.
Oh, and if you're watching this, I would never bet against you. I just did I did it for the cameras.
For the fans.
For the fans, to make it exciting.
Henna unable to make her birdie putt.
Yes, Rebecca with another birdie. 4 down, bogey free. Come on.
So clean. She's looking confident. I think Rebecca, if she tends to struggle, it's usually on the putting green. And you don't see a hint of that today. She's missed some, but she's not hesitant. She's fully committed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Part of the game.
2 birdies, 2 pars. Not bad on hole 8.
Yep, a quarter of the field getting this one. It's not a must get, but it's one you want to at least be putting.
I think, I don't know, a significant portion of the field considers it a bit of a bonus almost, like a lot of us having to make circle 2 putts. Kristin with her 4 in a row, which we are calling a hairy woodpecker, right?
Yes, we are.
Is in a tie for the lead with Silva now.
Hole 9. Oh, man. This hole. 390 feet, but it is like the hardest par 3 in the world. It's the way the OB is on the right-hand side. You can see how it pinches in just as you get to the green. It really gets in your head. You have to throw something far and that carries as straight as possible. In my head, it's a perfect mid-range hole if you've got that straight mid-range, but then you add the wind factor and it's really difficult to trust your mids to carry that far without crashing to the left or doing this right here, turning it to the right.
Kristin knew out of her hand that was very pulled, and it's a bogey at best.
Yeah, there is a bubble of OB to the left of the basket, but you really have to get it down there. And often when you're trying to throw it so hard, you pull it to the right.
Even without the wind. It's kind of nice to hear you describe how difficult this hole is. And then, like, it is indeed difficult. They didn't all just park it.
The wind was, if you could feel any today, was a little bit right to left. And I think there was some sneaky wind down on the green. So ideally, you want your disc to be hyzering the further it gets down. But
ooh, yeah.
Throwing the mid, you find yourself getting tangled up on that left corner right before it bubbles out as well. Henna does a good job of keeping it low and not letting it hyzer in that early corner.
Really nice champion Thunderbird from Henna there. Oh, and a little high, little flush. She's going to bring the OB into play. Occasionally, you will roll down back into bounds, but not always.
I don't like it.
She knew out of her hand that was a little high. There's that early corner.
Rebecca throwing 3, trusting the forehand. Love to see it.
Ooh, pretty. This green can be tough too because if you get pinched up on that rock, it is so hard.
That rock is enormous.
It is enormous.
There's no straddling around that thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful glacial erratic that we love. But also, if your disc wraps around behind it or if it pinches up onto the front side, onto the basket side of it, sometimes you can't really find a stance.
I'm just going to put a note to myself to make a playlist called Glacial Erratic. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Henna for birdie. Nice. Solid connection.
For those of you wondering at home, she actually made the note.
I did make it. I really like it.
It was a real note.
You said it last year and I forgot because I just don't remember anything. What's the opposite of a golden sombrero on our regional bird? If you bogey after
an ankle
4,
bracelet,
like a ball and chain.
Yeah. And this is not one that you get mad at yourself if you bogey. It's a hard hole, and it's one that you have to decide, I'm going to send it or I'm not going to send it and try to play it safe. And playing it safe, you could bring bogey into play as well. This is a weird one.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Hole
That's for
9.
dang sure.
Silva Sarnant 5 down through 11 in the solo lead after Kristin took that bogey. Only 1 down. Rebecca Cox 3 down. Henna Blomroos 2 down in a tie for 4th with Own, who's 1 down. Variety of scores out here. Under par is great at Fox Run.
Yeah, to be in the top 10 looks like you need to be around 3 down overall. It looks like most of the top 10 to 15 are shooting under par, but not by much. I think bogey free is really important out here as well. And you can see the scoring kind of change a little bit as you move down, as it does. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. So we've got 9 more holes here at Fox Run.
We sure do.
Please come hang out with us. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're your 2 hotkeys. Honk.
Honk.